The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned North-Western Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. A railway's main line is its lifeline, the primary route upon which trains travel, delivering goods and passengers in a timely manner. On Sodor, the main line connects a number of towns and cities. From end to end, beginning at Alsborough, the line goes on to Lower Tidmouth, then Tidmouth, Marston Heights, Carlton, Knapford, Lower Knapford, Elsbridge, Crosby, Wellsworth, Marin, Kildane, Crovan's Gate, and then Vickerstown, beyond which lies the lift bridge that links Sodor to the mainland, the first station of which is Barrow-in-Furness. I won't say that every community that has ever prospered on Sodor has done so because of its railways, given that's not entirely true, but those that have, I like to think we had a helping hand in it. Last time, I likened the main line to the roads because of its shared qualities, but there are obviously a great many differences too. For starters, there is no such thing as a shortcut. We engines can only go where the rails do. So, if the line is ever blocked by the likes of a fallen tree or an accident, extensive delays will often follow, as we can hardly find an alternate way around. Douglas's hold-up, for instance, was the result of a collision near Crosby. One engine that travelled the main line extensively for a time was Eric, given that he had to act as Henry's replacement while he was at the works. Our number 12 worked himself hard, delivering countless goods trains. Mr. Starr kept a close eye on him during this period. There was little doubt in my mind, or anyone else's, that our director would have sent him packing if he fouled up again. Fortunately, our director gave up on surveying Eric the day Henry's repairs were completed.
Ah, Henry, how are you? Just fine, sir. These new wheels feel great. I can't wait to run them in. Good, because I have a job for you. You'll be heading to Barrow to pick up some new coaches. New coaches, sir? Yes. Head office has finally approved my request to replace our current fleet of express stock. I want you to pick them up and deliver them to Knapford. Is something wrong, Henry? Sir, don't you remember what happened the last time I tried taking coaches? Vividly. But I trust you've learned from that mistake? Yes, sir. Good. Then on your way and be quick about it. Yes, sir.
Alright, that's the last of them. Now all I need is Henry.
Hello, Percy.
Ah, Henry, how are you?
Thrilled to be out of the works. Yourself?
Can't complain.
So, these are the new coaches then? Pardon my ignorance, but, I don't see any difference between them and the old ones.
What did you expect?
Something more noticeable, I guess.
Well, these are fresh off the assembly line, meaning all new upholstery and seating for the passengers, and having spent the last 2 hours shunting them, I can tell you they handle much better than the old ones.
Speaking of which, what happened to the old ones?
They were scrapped. Gordon's handling the last of them right now. How's he taking it? See for yourself. Oh, such a shame, such a shame. What an end for such a fine calibre of carriage.
Hello, Gordon.
Oh, Henry, what are you doing here?
Good to see you too.
Yes. Good to see you. How are you feeling and all that? Now, what are you doing here?
Mr. Starr asked me to pick up these new coaches.
You? After what happened last time? What happened last time?
Well...
Alright, Henry, now make sure to approach the coaches very slowly.
Never you fear, Gordon. I got this. Uh-oh.
You imbecile! I said slowly! We were picking the wreckage off the tracks for a month after that.
Oh, you were not. Stop being overdramatic. At any case, Mr. Starr feels I'm up to the task, and so should you.
I suppose. At any case, I don't have time to debate this. If you are to convey these coaches to Knapford, Henry, please make sure they arrive in one piece and not several. Sometimes the engine is too big for his buffers.
What do you mean, sometimes? I'm not worried.
So you shouldn't. You'll do fine.
Thanks. Well, I best make a start. Just give me a moment to get turned around and I'll be on my way.
All set, Henry?
Just about. You know, these coaches aren't too heavy. I could probably take the lot of them to Napa in one trip.
One trip? Are you sure?
It would save a lot of time. And you know how Mr. Starr values efficiency.
Huh, good point.
Alright, let's do this. I'll start marshalling them and...
Wait! Hold up a moment! Oh, thank goodness I got here before you left.
Crikey, James, the way you were tearing along the lines like that, I thought your brake blocks were on fire again.
Cool, typical. I thrashed my wheels to get here, and you offered jokes instead of compliments.
What have I got to compliment you for?
For bringing you these new coaches, of course.
What are you on about, James?
Yes, James, what are you on about? We already have our express coaches. They're right there. I'm afraid not. These coaches I've got here are the new ones. Those ones are slated for scrap.
What? How did that happen?
Some fool at head office got the shipping orders mixed up and listed those ones for delivery here. Are you sure they're meant to be scrap, James? They handle so well. That's because their axles were greased up beforehand so they could be delivered for scrap. You mean I've spent the last 2 hours shunting these coaches for nothing? I wish I could say something reaffirming, Percy, but I can't. Don't fret. I'm told the individual responsible will be disciplined.
Good to hear. In light of this revelation,
thank you, James. It could have been a disaster taking our passengers in unsafe coaches. Unsafe would have been an understatement. When they rattled off the list of problems with these coaches, I thought they were having me on. Well, Henry, you wanted a more noticeable difference between the coaches, and now you have it. The passengers also took notice of the new coaches, praising their smart exterior and lauding their comfortable interior. Naturally, in response to this, the Midis upgrade their express coaches too. The nearer we came to September 15 and Jennifer Kindly's wedding, the busier we got. We were inundated with guests who ran the gamut from friends and family to politicians and even nobility. The innumerable guests were delivered to Elsbridge, where the wedding was to take place. On September 12, I was at Barrow collecting another lot of wedding guests and was about to depart when the station master informed me we had a latecomer. I was forced to wait for what felt like hours before the young clergyman arrived, practically diving onto my train. I left a few minutes behind schedule. This did irritate me, as I never like being late, and since I had to take this train to Elsbridge, you can be sure Jeffries was there, just waiting to give me a tongue lashing.
Edward, you're late!
Yes, Jeffries, I'm fully aware of this.
That's Station Master Jeffries.
Whatever.
Don't give me attitude, Edward. Because of your tardiness, you have caused confusion and delay for the entire main line.
Confusion and delay? What sort of nonsense is that?
That nonsense is the mantra for professionalism, something an old lump of iron like you should have learned from by now.
Careful, Jeffries. I don't respond well to personal abuse.
That's Station Master. Excuse me. I'll deal with you later. Yes, sir. How may I help you? I couldn't help but overhear what you were saying, and I felt you should know the reason this engine is late is because of me. You, sir? Yes. I overslept in my hotel room and was slow in getting to the station. This engine was kind enough to wait for me, and because he was so accommodating, I will be able to perform my duties here on Sodor, which I am immensely grateful for. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, well, in light of this, Edward, good work. Keep it up. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Goodness! I know the Bible forbids one man to pass judgment on another, but is he always like that? No, sir. Some days he's really vile.
My word!
Thank you for coming to my defence. I really appreciate it.
All I did was tell the truth. In my line of work, that is essential.
So you've come to Sodor for work, have you?
Yes, I'm to preside over Jennifer Kindly's wedding.
Well, in that case, I'm glad I waited for you, Vicar.
Actually, it's Reverend.
Oh, I beg your pardon, sir.
There's no need to be so formal. Edward, was it?
Yes, that's it.
Well, like I said, no need to be so formal. I'm Wilbert Audrey. Please, call me Wilbert.
A pleasure to meet you, Wilbert. Is something wrong?
Forgive me, I don't mean to stare. It's just that I grew up on a farm next to some train lines. I saw all manner of goods engines at all manner of hours during the day and night. It's just that none of them were, well, like you.
No non-faceless engines where you come from, then?
Sadly, no. I've heard about them all my life, but have never actually seen one until now.
Yours is a remarkable category of engine. In that case, you'll love it here on Sodor, Wilbert. Every engine here is non-faceless, complete with names and everything that goes with it. I think you're right, Edward. I shall enjoy my time here on Sodor. And a good time was had by all on September 15, 1936, when Jennifer kindly joined hands with her fiancé in what was probably the first trackside wedding ever held on Sodor. This unconventional ceremony allowed several of us engines to attend, and when it came time for the bride and groom to kiss, many a tear was shed, not least among our own ranks. When the ceremony was done, Thomas was granted the privilege of taking away the newlyweds. Up till that point, it was the proudest moment of our number one's life. Between 1936 and 1939, Spain was ravaged by a vicious civil war as nationalist and republican forces fought one another for control of the nation. I can remember this time well, for hardly a week went by without some newspaper article describing this battle or that atrocity. The bloodshed was horrific enough, but the stories about the number of refugees being created by the conflict made it especially depressing. 1937 was a very bloody year in that war, so much so that the people finally began fleeing the nation in droves. Thankfully, there were many nations willing to take them in, including Britain. On May 23rd of that year, a little under 4,000 refugees arrived at Southampton docks, several hundred of whom were redirected to Sodor as the camps built to house them quickly filled up.
Escucha mi familia, yo he estado esperando durante horas de...
Sir, I'm sorry, but I don't understand you.
Donald, you want these coaches here?
Sir, please.
Donald, what do you want, Diesel? Can't you see I'm busy? I was arguing with a refugee count as being busy because I'm wrestling through a language barrier. Why don't you get someone who can speak Spanish then? Oh, now there's an idea. Why didn't I think of that? Oh wait, I did, and I couldn't find anyone. If you're done making worthless suggestions, Diesel, kindly push off. Grrr.
Now back to international diplomacy.
Feeling a bit put out, Diesel? Too right I am. Donald takes it out on me just because he can't handle his job. It's the way of the world, Diesel. The abused are always kicked downwards. They couldn't handle this lot, so they fobbed them off on us. We've been given a job to do, but no instructions on how to do it properly. I don't get why this lot had to come here. Why couldn't it have been Knapford Harbour? Why couldn't the nor'easters have been lumbered with them? Did someone mention the nor'easters? Oh, look here, Adam. A shipment of wood has built up steam and escaped from the lumberyard. You belong in a museum, Toby, not on the rails. If I were to be in any exhibition on railway antiques, you would best be prepared to join me, Adam. You're not much younger than I am. At least I'm not made of a material that can get eaten by termites. If you're so convinced of your own superiority, perhaps I'd best be on my way. Why are you here at all? To give you lot a hand with the refugees. And how are you going to do that? Watch and learn. This ought to be good. You're right. Come on, let's go watch.
Ugh, I give up. Afternoon, Donald. Toby, what are you doing here?
Buenas tardes, señores y señores, y bienvenidos a la isla de Sodor. Me disculpo por haber hecho esperar y gracias por su paciencia.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
En algunos momentos los porteros sirven a través de ayudar con el equipo que pueda tener. Por favor, tened sus pasaportes y cualquier otros documentos listos para su inspección.
Oh, Diesel, what? Could you shunt those coaches onto this line after I move these trucks, please? Why should I? Forget it, Diesel. For his help, he deserves whatever he asks for. So get to it. Grrr! They were not happy. They'll get over it. They'll never say so, but they're very thankful for your efforts, Toby. Which begs the obvious question, where did you learn Spanish? The manager of my old railway, his wife was Spanish. She taught me everything she knew about the language, and we used to speak to one another only in Spanish. That was until she passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. So was everyone else. Her death took a heavy toll on my manager, which ultimately led to the closure of my line. He just couldn't concentrate after that. To be honest, it's been so many years since I've spoken a word of Spanish, I was extremely nervous when asked to do so. Well, on behalf of the LMS, thank you for trying. It was a big help. No worries, Donald. Of course, the Midis didn't bear the full responsibility of their task alone. In a rare occurrence, we actually cooperated with them to resettle the refugees throughout the island. This was obviously done so no one community was overburdened by a sudden increase to its population. I'm pleased to say they received a warm welcome at every town and city along the main line. About a fortnight or so after this operation began, Thomas was to take a small group of refugees to Lakeside Halt, a small town that sits along what was formerly the main line for the Elsbridge and Knapford Railway, a stretch of track nowadays known as the Loop. Setting out and arriving on time, among the 24 or so refugees was a very pregnant woman. That was when things turned interesting. Ooh. Madam, are you alright? Mi baby está negando. I'm sorry, I don't... Oh! Pete, what's going on back there? It's one of the refugees. She's going into labour. What? Really? Yes, we need to get to a hospital right away. The nearest one's at Elsbridge. At this time of day, it'll take at least half an hour for an ambulance to get here. Then we load her back on board and take her to the station. What are you thinking? Pete, you telephone the hospital and tell them I'll meet one of their ambulances at Elsbridge. Brilliant! After helping the woman and her husband back into Clarabelle, Thomas's guard telephoned the hospital while our number one took off down the loop, pushing himself to his maximum speed. Sorry, Gordon, coming through. What is the meaning of not now, Gordon? Well, I never. Easy on there, Thomas. You keep thrashing yourself like this and you'll... burst a valve. Oh, bother! Of all the times for this to happen, now what? I could run back and ask Gordon to give us a push. Oh, he'll love that. Never mind. Eric, bless my smokebox, you're here. Thomas, what's wrong? I've got a woman who's in labour on board my train and I've burst a valve. I need you to take me to Elsbridge where an ambulance will be waiting. Eric, did you hear what I said? I'm sorry, Thomas, but I can't. What do you mean can't? I have to pick up a goods train at Carlton. So? It's a real important train, Thomas, and if I don't pick it up, Mr. Starr's going to sack me. Eric, do you hear yourself? Did you hear me? There's a woman on my train who's about to have a baby, and I can't blooming move. You're right, Thomas. This is an emergency. If Mr. Starr has a problem with that, then I don't want to work for him. Good on you, mate. Now, can you give me a pull? No worries. Be right back. Goodness, the way you two came shooting in, I would have sworn it was Gordon. We have an emergency, Toby. Where's the... Oi. What's going on? Thomas, you're not meant to be here. Not now, Jeffries. Where's the... That's station master. I don't have time for that. Where's the ambulance? Wait, you were responsible for that? Yes. Where is it? I sent it away. You what? That ambulance was meant for the pregnant woman on my train. You idiot, Jeffries. How dare you talk to me like that? And how was I to know? I wasn't told. I'm the station master here, and I need to be informed.
A dustbin would be a better station master than you. Right, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going to report you all for disrespecting a railway official. Just you try it, Jeffries.
Yeah, we'll take you on and...
Es un niño, es un niño.
What's he saying?
It's a boy, it's a boy.
That's great!
Tell him congratulations.
Felicidades, señor. ¿Cuáles son tus nombres?
What did he say? He wants to know your names.
What for?
Quiero nombrar a mi hijo después de cueros. Oh, he wants to name his son after you two. Thomas.
Eric.
Entonces mi hijo será llamado Thomas Eric Galindez. Then my son shall be called Thomas Eric Galindez.
My, what remarkable engines! The ambulance soon returned to take the Galindez family to the hospital. After that, their new life began on Sodor. The husband got a job at the Lower Knapford oil depot where he worked tirelessly to provide for his family. Eventually, he was able to buy a house for them next to the main line, and little Thomas, or Tommy, was a constant sight along the trackside. We were proud to watch him grow over the following years, even more so after he joined the railway, working his way through the ranks to become a fireman and then my driver. Wilbert Audrey was another frequent sight on Sodor over the next several years. He took a keen interest in its railways and the engines who worked them. Little did we realise just how much of an impact that soft-spoken clergyman would have on our lives. But that's a story for another day.